Hello, everybody. Hello. It has been a minute. It has been a very long minute since I've uploaded anything that wasn't music related. It has been a very long minute since I've uploaded a regular YouTube video, and I'm gonna be honest, there is absolutely no reason for that. I just haven't really felt like doing a video. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna not do videos for a while and really just focus on music. And it was a very, very long break of me not doing videos. And I would say that I'm back, but I'm gonna be real, it's probably not happening anytime soon. I have one more video on top of this one that I will be uploading, but that's for another day. So right now, let's just focus on this video. But before we get into this video, since it's been so long since I've talked to you guys, I want to give you sort of like an update on what's going on in my little content world. Let's do a little life update. Back in 2022, I released my album, I Only Speak in Stories. It took me 2 years to complete. It's one of the best things I've put out to date, and I encourage you to go listen to that. I think it's my best work to date, and I mean, I just love every single song on there. And yeah, I'm very proud of that album. So if you want to go listen to something, go listen to that. On top of that, in 2023, I took songs from that album. I released a B-sides to that album early January. Later in the year, I released, I think it was like on the 1 year anniversary of that album, I released this thing called Welcome to the Wonderlands, which is, it takes the song Wonderlands and I do it a cappella, I do a remix, I remastered a couple different tracks, and I released a new track on that EP. So yeah, in 2022, I released a full-on length album titled I Only Speak in Stories. You can find it on Spotify and iTunes and everywhere. And then in 2023, I released 2 EPs, one being a B-sides to that album, so it was everything that didn't make it on the album, and then the other one being Welcome to the Wonderlands, which takes the song Wonderlands in different directions. There's an acapella, an acoustic, a remastered. So on top of that, I am working on my 4th album. I'm not ready to talk too much about it yet. I'm hoping it'll be released early 2025, early mid 2025. I've been working very, very hard on it. As soon as I Only Speak in Stories was done, I immediately started working on this. So I think 2024 is just gonna be some smaller things that I'm working on. In 2024 so far, something I've done a lot of microphone videos. So I released me rapping a children's book because it was fun and I thought it'd be a cool idea. I also did a remix to Changes by J. Cole, and I did this melodies idea, which I took verses and choruses from my past 3 albums and I put them in basically one giant song. All those are out right now if you guys want to go look at them. I think they're all pretty cool. You can go follow me on Spotify or on Apple Music. I'll have the little sites for them right there. With that being said, let's get into the video. As you probably can guess from the title of this video, yes, I ended up doing a TEDx talk. Now, if you don't know what a TEDx talk is, it's when you have an idea or something that's thought-provoking and you do a small speech on it. Usually these are done at colleges, like motivational speakers end up doing a lot of these. So the whole story behind it started back all the way in 2022. I'm in college and I got an email from my college asking people to submit ideas for a TEDx talk. I had a couple ideas floating in my head to do a TED talk before. So essentially my first TED talk I submitted in November 2022. It was a completely different TED talk idea than I originally intended, or that I originally ended up doing. I basically got confirmation after 2 weeks that it was a no-go, that they did not want to do it. But I still had in my head that I really wanted to do this TED talk. They said no, but they did say that they're going to do one every single year. So I had a couple more shots to try to get one in. And I really thought I could do a good job at it. And I think it's something that I like creatively wanted to do, something that I professionally wanted to do. And I thought it would just be this sort of milestone in my life that I really wanted to achieve. Jump to summer of 2023. I was like, I'm going to flesh out my TED talk so that way when I get the email for 2023, I can submit it without no problem. I spent a couple weeks in the summer really fleshing out my essay, my thoughts and my ideas. Alongside that, I thought to myself, I should submit 2 of them because that'll give me a better shot of doing it. Or they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy and tell me no twice, which would be a real big hit in the ego. But anyway, So I started writing my second TED Talk. That was actually the TED Talk that they ended up accepting. So in 2023, I wrote both my TED Talks. I fleshed them out. I had it so as soon as I got that email, I could just immediately submit them both. The first TED Talk that did get rejected in 2022 and in 2023 was titled How the Education System Failed Me. And then in parentheses was going to be, and why I want to be a teacher. The second TED Talk was the one that they actually ended up taking, and it was how to budget time like money. So late 2023, I got the email saying, hey, we're doing our 2024 TED Talk, submit your ideas. I already had both my essays fleshed out. I took one, submitted it, I took the other one, and submitted it immediately. You know, I had in my head that I wasn't going to get it just because they had already said no to me once. That being said, I did feel better about these ones that I submitted because I had spent time on them and I put in a lot of effort and I really made sure that they looked good before I submitted them. And I heard back a week later. I got an email from somebody directly on the TED Talk team saying, hey, video that you submitted, because you had to submit a video for both of them, so I submitted a video for each one. The video that you submitted is not working, and we want to make sure that we give you the attention for considering having me talk. Would you mind submitting another video? And as soon as they emailed me that, I thought to myself, I think I really have a shot at this, because if they had read my talk and didn't even like it and couldn't get the video to work, maybe they wouldn't care so much. I quickly made the video. I was literally at work. I'll show it on screen right here. I won't play the audio, but I was literally at my job and I was like, I gotta whip this out real quick. It was only like a 2 or 3 minute video and it was just explaining the topic. Since my topic was like organizing time, I told them that I was on my 15-minute break when recording the video, so it kind of like implemented itself in there. So yeah, I submitted that, and about a week later I got an email asking if I would talk at the TED Talk for my college, and I was ecstatic. I read the email that asked me to do it probably about 3 times. I took a picture of the email. I was sending it to everybody. I was very, very excited. Also, at the same time, equally as nervous. I responded, obviously, and I said, like, yes, I want to do this. What are the next steps? And they gave me a bunch of deadlines at the end of December 2023 and like 3 deadlines in January 2024. And so I had to do like an outline of the talk. We had a final draft of the talk, bullet points for the talk. It was interesting. So I spent the next probably month and a half fleshing out my TED Talk. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really struggling to meet those deadlines. I don't know what it was. I just wanted to make sure that everything was good while turning stuff in. But I turned in the outline on time. I had to resubmit a couple things because they weren't exactly what they were looking for. Other than that, everything went pretty smoothly. My stress level was insanely high for those month and a half, 2 months of me doing this. I would go to work, I would come home, and I would write my TED. That's what I would do. By the end of January 22nd is when my final draft of my TED Talk needed to be submitted. My TED Talk was 9 pages long. 9 pages of all this one idea just insanely fleshed out. They told me at the beginning that I had to memorize my TED Talk. What I did was I recorded myself doing it on a microphone like you're hearing now, and I would put it on my phone and I listened to it. I listened to it so much and I was so fucking annoyed with my voice by the end of it. So over it, I was over listening to myself. The original recording for my original final draft was 16 minutes long. I'm gonna be honest, as soon as I submitted the final draft, I don't think I really thought about the TED Talk until we started doing the virtual rehearsals for the TED Talk. The actual talk itself wasn't until March, but all of February and the beginning of March consisted of doing these virtual rehearsals. And it was me, it was all the other people I did TED Talk with. First off, I just want to say the ladies that were the fellow speakers of mine, amazing. We had so much fun like doing our virtual rehearsals together. We got to know each other pretty well. It was just really a blast, and I don't think I really could have asked for a better group of people to go through this process with. We talked about our nerves. We talked about how excited and anxious we are, and something that really helped was one of the people who was speaking was a motivational speaker. So she was very good at like calming our nerve, getting everybody on the same page. It was a very awesome, beautiful experience, and I'm so glad I got to do it with the people I did it with. That being said, the actual notes and everything from these virtual rehearsals were taxing. They truly wanted what's best for us, but my 16-minute long TED Talk ended up getting trimmed down and trimmed down and trimmed down. The entire thing was just cut. Every single time we had a virtual rehearsal. We had a couple personal rehearsals as well, and they ended up having me cut that down more and more and more. Only reason I didn't love that was I had so many tangible, like such tangible advice that people could actually take and apply to their day-to-day life. They were basically just like, hey, like, we think people are gonna get lost in this. At my original 16-minute version, I go through my schedule and how hectic it is and how I basically lay everything out. And they were like, I think people will get lost in this. Don't get me wrong, by the end of it, I'm glad they did it just because it was easier to memorize that way. And I think it really calmed my nerves. I boiled it down to a bunch of bullet points, but they were having me cut it and slim it down until like 3 or 4 days before I was supposed to speak. Probably the most stressed I've been in a very, very long time. Now, I got it boiled down to what I was speaking to. I got it down to what exactly I would say. And let me tell you, I practiced that thing a lot. Every single day I would record myself doing it. I'm talking, I probably have 30 or 40 recordings of myself doing it every single day. I could probably still recite it now if I really wanted to, which I do not. I recorded it at the gym. I would record it at my house. I broke it down. I tried to memorize it every single which way I can. I broke it down by section. And during this entire time, I had to submit slides for this. They wanted visuals for it. Eventually, we got to the day of the TED Talk. My nerves were still super high. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm freaking myself out just thinking about it now. I woke up in the morning. I weirdly got sentimental at certain aspects. I woke up and I had an energy drink like I do every morning, and I like was borderline crying because I was like, this is the last energy drink I'll have before my TED Talk. Stupid shit, to be honest. So I woke up the morning, I had a nice breakfast, and I immediately started practicing my TED Talk. Probably practiced it 5 or 6 times. I had to force myself to give my brain a break, so I went for a walk. I did anything I could. I binged watched that new Marvel What If series, and then it was time to go to the TED Talk. So I drove there, and we did a final run literally an hour before I had to perform it. I got to go on stage, which was nice. They let me run through my slides. We had to fix a couple things on my slides. I ran through it twice with people there, and it was nice. It was cool. It was nice to be on the stage and actually see what I was getting myself into, kind of learn the rules of where I could walk and where I couldn't. And then I met with my friends beforehand. We talked for a second, and then it was time for me to go in. Met everybody in person that I'd done these virtual rehearsals with, talked about our nerves, and then I immediately just went into go mode again, and I started practicing my TED Talk. Something that was kind of comforting to see was all the other people I was speaking with were also just practicing their TED Talk. We all went to our separate corners of like the backstage of the theater we were at, and we all just practiced our TED Talk. And then it was finally somebody's first round to go. Her name was Michelle. She killed it. She did great. Second person to go, she did great as well. That was the motivational speaker. Her name is Dr. Tawana. And then it was finally my turn, and my heart was beating so fast. I don't want to say I didn't feel prepared, because I had practiced it so much. Like, it felt like I got prepared and then immediately had to go up. Like, there was no breathing room. I trimmed it down to what I needed to, memorize that, and then immediately had to go on stage. Excruciatingly nerve-wracking. But I went on stage. At that point, it was just muscle memory. It was just going up there and saying what I had practiced. Everything on stage went well. I did forget one thing, and I skipped past it because I was like, I'm not going to try to sit here and remember it. I just skipped past it, and I did it. And then I walked off stage, and it felt like I had blacked out. Like, it didn't feel like it was over. My heart was racing so fast. I didn't feel the relief I thought I would feel until maybe about 3 or 4 days after. But that being said, overall, this was a crazy experience, and I'm so glad I did it. I'm glad I could say that I got to do it. I look back on this fondly. Post TED Talk, they had a little reception. My adrenaline was going so high, I was just like, I need to leave. I did not want to be there any longer, and it wasn't for any particular reason. I was just ready to stop being anxious. The TED Talk is out right now. I will link it down below. It is titled How to Budget Your Time Like Money. Now, one of the reasons I'm making this video was to kind of express my experience going through this whole thing, and then also tell you that the one thing I look back and I don't love, the fact that it got trimmed down so much. And I get it. Like I said, I get it. I needed to be able to memorize it, and people needed to be able to listen to it without actually like getting bored. One thing that got lost in that translation was all this actual tangible, graspable advice. I wrote this to help people understand that you can do more throughout your day. Your day doesn't have to consist of doing one thing, and you can organize your time to do more and give yourself more opportunities in life. That being said, I've decided to release the full 16-minute uncut version of my TED Talk on my YouTube channel. If you want to go listen to the actual version, TEDx official version, I will link it down below. But the time of this upload, I will also upload the full 16-minute version of my TED Talk. If you guys are interested in that, it'll be, if you watch both, you're gonna understand how much was actually trimmed down from it. But I thought I would just come on here. I haven't made a video in a while, and I wanted to come here and explain my experience with it, my frustrations, the things I love, stress level I came from it. I hope you guys enjoyed my thorough storytelling of this. There will be another video in a couple more weeks. I don't know. I don't have an exact date of it yet. Nothing to do with the TED Talk, but it's just another fun video I had a good idea for. And then the album will hopefully come out next year. If you want to keep updates on the album and all the other YouTube stuff, you can obviously subscribe. My TikTok is at crookedtooth2, and then my Instagram is the Benjiverse. Other than that, I have nothing else for you guys. Love you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, good to be back in some sense. Woo!